Hello, welcome to a further webinar with the topic ABB SmartTouch 10-inch. My name is Thorsten Reibel from the Building Academy Smart Buildings. Yeah, and I will present today this webinar, which takes around 1 hour today. Yeah, together with me is my colleague Peter de Jager. He represents the product management team, which was working on this product. And if you have any questions, please send it in the chat to all participants, so that everybody can see your question, and Peter will already during this session answer your questions. If necessary, I will come back to this topic at the end of this webinar. Yeah, as always, we record this webinar, so you get later then, of course, the feedback email together with the recording of this session, but also the presentation you will achieve. I will send you still today at least the PDF file of this presentation. The presentation is bigger than all the slides I can show today, so you get a real comprehensive document about most of the features of this component. What is planned for today? First of all, I will introduce a bit into this topic of this ABB SmartTouch, give you an overview. Installation and mounting is a topic, and then a big part will be programming with KNX. So we talk about, in general, the DCA, the device configuration app, how to program this. Some of the control elements I will show, not everything. And very important as well for the user later, the operation. So how to operate this product, and this is really nice in this component. I try to show this as well. Yeah, it's not only a KNX related device, it has to do also with ABB Free at Home and ABB Welcome. I come to this. Also here I will show a bit how it works with the commissioning, the programming, which is much less than with KNX, but also here's the first information. And last but not least, I would like to come to the commercial aspects. Let's have an introduction first of all. Yeah, touch panels, operating panels in our building automation solutions is not completely new. Around 8 years ago, we started with the first products. You see here some older ones, MT701 still available, but the control panel and control touch and comfort touch and so on. So also components for door entry, our ABB Welcome system, and for Free at Home. And there's still demand for powerful panels, wall-mounted panels, though we have a lot of apps nowadays to operate something remotely. But of course, people ask for modern design on state-of-the-art components. Allow me in my presentation read one sentence directly here from the slide. I think it's a good sentence to describe the product, the new ABB SmartTouch 10 we will launch, or we have launched right now. The result is our new ABB SmartTouch 10-inch, which integrates our 3 main solutions in ABB home and building automation, with sophisticated design and hardware, powerful software both for integrators to program and for end users to operate and adapt it, to achieve a state-of-the-art product which satisfies finally all stakeholders. I completely confirm this sentence because I had already the chance to work some weeks with this component here in my home, so I integrated it also in my home installation. I had to prepare, of course, all this training content, and I can say it's a real nice product, both in hardware, in software, the way to commission it, the way to use it. The quality of the product, especially the display, is very nice. It's not over-engineered. It's really nice to operate or to use this. So I'm really happy, and I hope I can show you in the next hour what is really behind this product. So what is our target? Of course, we would like to increase our sales figures to deliver the right component here in terms of touch panels for the right price. We would like to reduce the number of components because now this device integrates 3 systems we have. We would like to have consistent user interface, user experience, similar to other components we have already. I come to this. So a real high-end product made of real material. Real means there is glass, there is metal, and in different colors. You see here the black version is also available in white, but the frame around this touch panel is available in 4 different designs, let's say. I mentioned already the very nice display. It's a 10-inch IPS in-plane switching, state-of-the-art high definition display. And it's not only for KNX as mentioned, but also for Welcome, ABB Welcome, and ABB Free at Home. So you can have a look here again to these two versions in terms of the frame around the display in white and also here in black. Yeah, it's made for any kind of projects, of course. Very often I think it will be used in residential applications where you have both home automation, either free at home or KNX, plus ABB Welcome. But of course it can be used also in any commercial project. Think about hotel rooms, think about any conference or meeting rooms. There are no limits, of course. I mentioned already that we would like to have a consistent solution based on already existing devices, and you might remember our ABB Room Touch with 5-inch, and you see here both devices together with this new ABB SmartTouch, and they look very similar, the design of the hardware, and they are very similar also in terms of operation and programming. Yeah, the 5-inch Room Touch, size of a smartphone you can say, and the ABB SmartTouch 10-inch size of a tablet fits perfectly together to have a consistent product and consistent user and user feeling and operation and programming. So some more features at the beginning in general. So it's a high-end touch panel to combine all these solutions I mentioned already, free at home, Welcome and KNX. Very slim design, 10-inch, resolution is 1280 by 800 pixel. Very good viewing angle, means if you look from the side on the panel, you see everything, so no problem if you stand not directly in front of it. And it's only 40 millimeters distant from the wall where it's mounted, so it's not very thick. As for all our design-oriented devices, any awards are very important, and this product has already won some awards. Awards means has to do with this design of the product, has to do with user experience, user interface, of course. And for one, we are still nominated, the UX Design Award, very important. We will see what happens here, but it's a really good product. That's the reason why it's really won some of the awards already. So the high quality capacitive display I mentioned already allows us to operate very intuitively with your finger, of course. So of course you press, you swipe sometimes, and I'd like to explain later really how it works. And I can say I was really happy to work with this. We are all used to work with our smartphones, our tablets, where a professional operation is already existing. And of course you expect the same also for touch panels, maybe to operate your home installation. So controlling any functions, switching, dimming, blinds, scene control, all these things are possible. You can have a look to any values, all these things I will show a bit later how it works. I mentioned already these three systems which can be connected, KNX, free at home, and ABB Welcome. For ABB Welcome, it's important we talk about the twisted pair solution. So not ABB Welcome IP, then you take the IP touch panel. This is made for this, but here we talk about twisted pair connection for all three systems, KNX, free at home, and Welcome. So you can choose later which combination you have, either KNX only or free at home or Welcome during the initial commissioning. Or you say, no, I have also a combination of KNX and Welcome or free at home and Welcome. It's not possible to connect KNX and free at home at the same time, because I think this will not exist in any real installation. But of course, both systems together with Welcome, no problem. Built-in IP gateway to connect the Welcome app, also very important. IP camera implementation is possible, so you can have further IP cameras, maybe also in your garden, to be integrated to this device. We have an induction loop for hearing aid support. Then online weather data can be integrated. You see already on the right in this dashboard on the upper right side, the local weather information can be easily integrated. Even for the screensaver, you can use the weather forecast. It's also possible. Haptic feedback during operation. If you press a button, then of course you can not only listen, okay, there's something running right now or something has been changed, but also you feel directly on the touch panel if you have touched correctly as a function, as a kind of vibration. Mounting I will explain later as well. All versions you need we have here. Even replacement of older products is easily possible here with the new SmartTouch 10-inch. Integration, of course, is very important. We say, okay, why having more than one panel in your home if everything is in one panel possible? I think it is very useful. So you see it already here. It can be used as an indoor station for ABB Welcome. So no need for any other component here in this regard anymore. So to have a real consistent solution, I think it's very important, and typically in residential buildings you might have home automation plus door entry solution, and this is state of the art to have it integrated in one user, let me say, interface, in this case here, the indoor station. Some more technical data of this touch panel. So 10-inch display, IPS with a ratio of 16:9, resolution 1280 by 800. I mentioned already, very good viewing angle, 75 degrees is possible. Brightness is more than enough. I experience this also here in my home already, even if it's sunny outside. Of course, the brightness is adjustable, can be automatically adjusted depending on outside brightness. Then we have a SD card slot inside for different purposes. For having any screensaver pictures, you would like to have a backup of the installation, you would like to have individual ringtones for your welcome system, or also useful for downloading the application. So you then export the application file on the SD card from the ETS, insert the SD card into the device, and then you can download the application. But it's also possible to download directly from the ETS the application without any exchange of SD cards. Especially important if the component is mounted already, you can easily demount it and insert the card, but then in this case, for example, the installer would use the download via the ETS application. 24 volt power supply is needed. Power consumption 12 watt and standby only 1.5 watt. Most of the time, of course, it's not operated, not in use, the panel, and then it's dark normally, or any screensaver function. So very low energy consumption. 24 volt either from an external power supply, or if you have the ABB Welcome system controller, then it's also supplied here from this device. So connection to building and home automation is either KNX or free at home. If you use free at home, you can create here one page with 18 control elements if you have only the twisted pair connection established. But more pages are available via Wi-Fi. So this component has a Wi-Fi communication possible, for example, to IP cameras. So then all the control functions and features of the ABB Free at Home app will be, let me say, mirrored here on this component. So you have in addition, of course, a lot more functions available. But prerequisite is then having the Wi-Fi connection and the Free at Home app active. For KNX, it's also, of course, the twisted pair connection. And then you have to commission via the ATS, our standard software in KNX, together with the so-called device configuration app. We have already in some other components. The Room Touch has it already. The IP Touch has it already, and some more components. So integrated small software inside the ETS, and then you can parameterize everything. I will give you here some more information. How many control elements? Up to 450 control functions can be parameterized on up to 25 pages. Then we have a lot of different pages available on the touch panel, pages where you can have favorites, so you can say, okay, I would like to have this and this function directly on the dashboard as a user. We have access to all individual circuits, also central functions automatically. We have numerous time programs available, both pre-programmed in the ETS or done by the end user. Notifications can be shown there if there's any alarming or anybody rings the bell, of course, or you have lost anybody who wanted to enter your house or could not, he was not at home, for example. These things are all possible, and weather data. Time programs I mentioned already, and furthermore, we have a lot of intelligence inside in terms of logic, presence simulation. So if you are not at home on a holiday, you can run pre-recorded telegrams on the bus to simulate activity in your home and what shall be activated. You can select. Internal room temperature controller is in this component. So in the room where it's installed, you do not need any additional room temperature controller anymore. And many more functions. I will show you not everything, but much more in the next slides. Connections on the rear of the component is not that much. Remember, we need twisted pair connection for all the systems, either free at home or KNX. And if you want also ABB Welcome. And then for the ABB Welcome system, you have to adjust addresses of the indoor and outdoor station. You do it the classical way via any micro switches here or any rotatable knobs here. That's what you have to do. So, and of course you have the power supply connection here, SD card slot, microphone, speaker, everything is integrated, and so it's a complete component, let's say. We have, as mentioned in the past already, a lot of touch panels, but let's have a look to the current range of touch panels. We have both for KNX, but also for Free at Home. Here you see the overview of the current components for ABB IBUS KNX. So we talk about our both IP touches, 7 and 10 inch. So already existing via IP connection is the communication. Then we have our ABB Room Touch, and now this new ABB SmartTouch. So there are some small differences, but just to give you an overview here. And for Free at Home, most of the components are the same. So IP touch is even a component for either KNX or Free at Home, as well, of course, now the ABB SmartTouch. And there's another individual Free at Home panel, the small 4.3 inch Free at Home touch. This is also still available. Of course, not all components have the same functions, but you get quite good overview here. So regarding programming of these three solutions, as mentioned, I would like to go here in the topic programming of KNX right now. DCA is a topic, the special additional small software portion you need. Download either via ETS or via the SD card of the application. So programming button, physical address or individual address of the KNX device has to be programmed. You go in the system settings, activate the programming mode, and then you can download directly the individual address from the ETS. And nowadays also firmware updates are a topic. You can do it online if you're connected to internet. Remember, we have a Wi-Fi connection here. Then you can do it directly via online communication, or via the SD card. You can also import a firmware file if needed. Programming Free at Home, much easier. Of course, again, connection via bus cable. Then you can parameterize in the system access point and the web server of this system access point. One page with up to 18 controls. And as mentioned, if you have Wi-Fi connection and the Free at Home next app, then you can more or less mirror all the functions from the app here into the ABB SmartTouch. ABB Welcome, twisted pair, so 2 wires. The addressing I mentioned already, connection and a few more steps, but it's not that much. I will come to this a bit later as well. So about mounting and installation, some words. First of all, you see here the size of the component, around 25 centimeters by 18, and the depth I mentioned already, only 14 millimeters. So one device, one size, of course, is a topic here. And regarding real mounting, what does it mean? It's a wall-mounted device, normally, typically, not always, but in most of the cases. So typical mounting height, 1.5 meters, a good location, I think, good height. So what can you do? You can install flush or wall-mounted. So flush mounted means you have an installation box. You see it down there on the middle here, the black one. So you have to have a hole in the wall, of course, and then you install this wall box, and then you can easily snap on your SmartTouch on this box, and then there's only a movable slider on the bottom. If you have to release it, you have to open it again. It's easy to remove it again. So this is flush mounting, but also wall mounting is possible. Then you take this component here on the right. It's available in white and black. And then you need only the cables coming out of the wall. And then you mount this one here on top of the wall. Snap on this ABB SmartTouch the same way. And then it's mounted. An option would be a desk stand, already existing from former devices. Then you take also this wall-mounted frame, and then you can directly fix it here on this desk stand if you want. So also possible. Maybe for any conference rooms, it could be interesting. What happens if you have already older devices and you would like to replace it by our new ABB SmartTouch, we have also standard wall boxes 3040 or the box 6136 from the former Comfort Touch, but also SmartTouch. All these things are possible to be used again for the ABB SmartTouch, and so it's really easily possible to replace former devices. Even the MT701 is still in our range, can be also replaced this way. It's no problem. Let's come to programming KNX. As mentioned, we need the device configuration app, so-called, which is free of charge available, either from our homepage. So available there, and you can go also on the knx.org homepage where you have this app shop, and you can download it as well there, also free of charge, of course. And then you import this the same way you did it already with other DCAs into the ETS, and then you can work with this device. And you see then, if you have a DCA for a product integrated, it's not only parameters, there are no parameters behind, it's everything concentrated here in the DCA, device configuration app. In principle, the same app as for our ABB Room Touch or IP Touch, but due to technical reasons, there is a separate one, so-called ABB or BJE DCA SmartTouch 10. You have to import this additionally, and then it's for you available. So in principle, like the former DCAs for these both devices already mentioned, main new features, you can now also pre-program time functions inside the DCA. So not only on the touch panel itself by the end user, but pre-programmed also possible. The end user can still do own time programs or adapt this existing one, no problem. We have more options for color control. I come to this later a bit. Color temperature. So this was even better integrated here. We have an additional control element which was not existing before. VRV, variable refrigerant volume. So yeah, for cooling systems typically, or cooling mainly cooling, but also heating could be possible. So with special parameters and special group objects. And for displaying values, we have here extended also something. You have better options now to show any technical values, electrical values like energy, voltage, but also water and some more. So information indication of values is improved here. Yeah, let's have a look to the DCA. If you open the DCA here, you see on top we have an superior functions. Importing, exporting, I come to this up to visible. Then application and navigation, two parts here. And application means some system settings. You adjust time programs here, for example. You activate or adjust the RTC, internal RTC. These things you can do here. Navigation, I come in the next slide. And for each function you select here, you have parameters, you have group objects in KNX, and you see also the list of group addresses of your project, which already exists due to other components you have integrated already. But you can also add here additional group addresses, rename this, so you have real access to the group addresses here as well. So you don't have to jump to the outside the DCA to assign group addresses here. You do it via drag and drop, easy way here to your group objects or communication objects on the left. So this is more for superior functions, but if I come to the navigation, means here I create all my pages. Here I insert any of our function buttons from switching up to welcome control. So creating the pages, adding these icons, these function buttons, and parameterizing this, of course. Plus assigning group addresses the same way as already explained in the slide before. So again, for those who know already, IP Touch and ABB Room Touch is the same principle. Let's have a look to some of these functions on top here. So importing means you can import the building structure from the ETS project. What does it mean? Then you have already all the rooms, and this will be then represented by pages directly here in this component, so save some time in programming. We have a so-called terminal configurator, a software which can also allows you to design also projects, and there can be also imported something. And from other SmartTouch projects you have done already, you can also import here the project file. Exporting is mainly exporting the application on a SD card to download the application to the device via the SD card one option, remember, or you download directly the application from the ETS, no problem. Or you create here a backup of your configuration, also possible. So I don't want to go on all these parts, but I think preview, yeah, you know this maybe as well. Very important if you create something optically or visually, you would like to see what you have done. Not only after download, but if you do it here via preview, you see exactly each page in principle, what you have done. Is it the correct size? What do you would like to rearrange something? Everything can be then done after you have seen the preview, for example. Reset layout is possible to go to a standard in the arrangement of the windows here. That's possible. And very nice is also visible, invisible button here. Means any hints in the parameterization on the parameters itself can be made invisible or visible. So after a certain time you say, oh, I know now what's mentioned here. I don't want to see it all the time. You can remove it here from the parameter view if you want. So coming to navigation, creating pages plus function buttons on these pages. So first of all, you can create a lot of main or home pages here, one after another if you want, because these are easily available later without any tree structure, without searching to this page. You scroll only through these pages and then you stop anytime when you would like to operate something. But of course, you can create also a kind of structure with floors and rooms. And one page could be a pure page just to jump to any pages. This is also possible. It's up to you. So I think here are all options you need. I'm really happy with these home or main pages where you only scroll one after another and check what you would like to change. But I try to explain it later a bit if you go to the operation part. So rooms and floors are possible. And we have also, if you go then to the rooms here in the panel, this is a view, partly a view from the panel already. So go to rooms here on the upper left side and then you see all rooms. Or you go to category. Then you have access to functions all over your project. So if you click on lighting, you have access to all individual light circuits. No problem. And you select then in a kind of list view which functions you would like to operate. It's even possible here. So very flexible, can be adapted to the needs of the user, what he prefers. Yeah, as mentioned, up to 25 pages can be created in the DCA. Of course, you can copy and paste and delete everything. You can rearrange everything. Rearrangement is possible up and down. You would like to have an order later in your pages, in your home pages or your starting or main pages here. And then you can go on each page. With up and down, you can change the order here. You can sort it, put it up to the bottom here or the top. And then it will be shown in this order here directly on the panel later. Yeah, and if you click here on Start Pages, you see then an overview of all your pages you have created. Yeah, in the application we have some settings. I don't go into details here. So some superior functions starting from language here. And so typical adjustments, time functions. The display, do you want to have a white or a dark background? Adjustable here, but also by the end user later. So what I can say, a lot of functions are accessible by the end user, and not everything is fixed here. Especially these system settings are partly available also in the system settings of the panel itself. What else is interesting? Yeah, screensaver, of course. Information starting page I would like to mention. You can adjust here. Nothing else but sending via KNX a text to the panel, for example, for a hotel guest room. And if you enter then your hotel room, touch panel is in standby mode. You enter this or you approach this touch panel, then it will light up, of course, and then a welcome sentence will be shown or will be visible for you. This is easily possible as well, for instance. So door communication can be adapted here. Remember, it's for two wires welcome. And what is possible here, you can add also 5 KNX functions on this welcome screen then later. So you say, okay, if somebody rings a bell, of course, you go to the panel, you see via video the guest who would like to enter your home, and then you have some buttons there available which can directly activate any KNX functions. Maybe you light up the corridor already, and so things like this are directly possible and adjustable here. We have inputs, binary and analog inputs directly at the component. Analog input for temperature sensor maybe, though there is a temperature sensor already inside the device. You can use a second one, or any contact can be directly linked here. We have fault alarm messages, info messages available, so any telegram can cause any additional pop-up window on the screen informing you about any actions or any activities which are not normal. So in red could be an alarm, for example. So hint and fault are also possible here. What else? Scenes. We have, of course, scene operating elements available, but we can also administrate completely scene functions here. 1 byte scenes typically, so directly up to 10 scenes with 15 participants can be parameterized here as well. Presence simulation, I think I mentioned this already. You can record selected telegrams with this component for a certain time. And if you are then not at home on holiday, for example, you can replay these telegrams on the bus to simulate activities, simulate presence in your home. Not everything what is existing, of course, but selected ones. And you can choose here up to 20 functions, 20 telegrams, let's say, or group addresses you would like to assign here. Time programs I mentioned already, pre-programmed here inside the component, or end user is adapting or creating own ones, no problem, also possible. We have, of course, all these logic functions you might remember from other components, also very powerful here. If you need additional external logic in your project, you can do it here. And RTC internal means a real room temperature controller. RTC, unified RTC concept, completely covered here by this device for the room itself. And as mentioned, we can have also 2 other temperature controller for other rooms. Then you need only in these rooms temperature measurement. Sent via KNX to the device, and then it's also controlling from this device the temperature in the other rooms. Up to 2 in addition are possible. So, and last one here, creating favorites. We have 2 types of favorites. One on the user side, I come to this later, but here in the on the programming side, let's say, if you create icons and you would like to use it many times on many other pages in the same project, what do? You create a favorite out of this function, and then you copy later only this favorite to other pages, so you don't have to parameterize each icon again. Saves also some time and makes sense here. So, and last function here, again in the DCA, you see here, a bit confusing at the first glance, but what I want to show here is that we have a so-called search function for group addresses in the DCA. So, as you might remember, we have here the group address overview, and now you would like to know a special group address on which page at which icon is this group address used. Then you do nothing else but clicking here on the group address with the right mouse button, click on search, then it opens, or it marks here the page where it's used. You click on the page will be opened here in this preview, and in green the icon is marked where this group address is used. So one way, using the search function. On your list of group addresses, it can be a lot. You remember, there was any water alarm group address. I don't remember the group address. You type it here, and then you search for it, and then automatically it will be opened here in this list view and marked here as well. Okay, there is a group address used, or not used, but existing here in this group address list view. Quite helpful also during commissioning. So, control elements KNX, a lot available. I show you only a small part, otherwise it takes too much time. But the principle, how you work with these control elements, how you parameterize this, and how it is shown in the touch panel later itself, I would like to explain here. Let's have a look to the overview of all the icons, function elements from switching to welcome and many more. So let's have a look. In principle, you take one element here, via drag and drop, you place it on your page. You can name this, of course, and the size of this icon you have to define here. Smaller one by one, up to 2 by 2 is possible. So 450 elements only possible if you have only 1 by 1 elements. Otherwise, it's less, because you cover more space here on the pages. Yeah, and further parameters depending on this icon itself. Here are the parameters, of course, and the short explanation of the parameters of this control element switch. But if you look later to the user interface, how does it appear? Here it's a very simple control element switch only, and then you have here, yeah, an area where you can tap with your finger, of course, and then you can turn on and off. It's on-off function only. You see the status here on the upper right side. You have a the name, of course, visible. What is interesting, both in the ETS but also the end user can change between normal view, you see here on top, or reduced view. And then you have only an icon visible here. Less text, but an icon. The function is the same, but you can switch between these views directly via system settings inside the device, or the touch panel itself by the end user. Is it all on-off? No. If you click here on the upper right side, then you have a sub-menu, let's say. In this case, you can adapt a time function by pressing on this icon here, or you can add this control element to the favorite. I'll show you later how it works or how it's visible. So this is possible here. Other components or other control elements have more functions behind if you click here on the upper right side. That's the same principle all the time. So parameterization, adding group addresses, of course, you have to do. And then it looks like this. Let's have a look to a more powerful control element like this RGB white control. So color light is a topic here. So if you adjust everything and then it's visible like this here with the text. Okay, you can press here again and then you come to this view here, showing you the color range where you can move this button here or this point to any of these colors, and then automatically it will turn to this color if you have RGB lighting behind, and here of course the brightness can be changed. You can add this to the favorite again, you can adjust time functions, and you can close this window again here. So this is possible. And then we have here not only RGB control, but only white. If it's RGB white control, that's a separate button here. And if I click here, you see it better on this view. You click here on white, and then you have only a slider to change between warm and cold white, for example, if it's available. So very user-friendly and nice to operate. Yeah. And of course, you have also status information like the brightness value, also optically here with this element visible. And it's a powerful RGB white control element, works perfectly with our DALI gateway, with color control, of course. And now also 6-byte object is integrated. I missed this in the ABB Room Touch, to be honest, but now here in this ABB SmartTouch available. So I mentioned that we have a new control element, not existing before. So besides this split unit control element, also existing in Room Touch, for example, we have this VRV control element, variable refrigerant volume. Yeah, it's not totally different from a split unit functionality. For me, VRV is something like centralized split units with one central outdoor unit, but there are different parameters, some different objects also. We are only operating this here. Keep this in mind. Of course, you need a suitable actuator. And this is not a product at the moment from ABB. It's a KNX gateway to VRV, which exists on the market. So this is our target here, to be able to operate also VRV control via this SmartTouch. In some markets over the world, it's very common, and we support this right now. And last but not least, I would like to come to the Welcome control button. You have also here the option to create a control element Welcome control. Not only one you can take. In principle, then you have access to, for example, the outdoor camera, of course, but also maybe to other cameras if you have integrated this. And there's also a trigger object available. So in case of any KNX telegram, you can open then automatically on the ABB SmartTouch the view of the camera behind. That's also possible. So a motion sensor could trigger also this camera and to be shown then directly here on the touch panel if you want. So operation, maybe the most important part, yeah, because we would like to satisfy the end users or the users at all. And again, I can say it's nice to work or to use this component. After a lot of experience I have now in the last weeks, Yeah, first of all, what I really like, if you have, I mentioned already, these numerous kind of home pages where you have no tree structure behind. You say, come on, I need only the pages, and how to select the right page. Yeah, what you do, you see here on the bottom these dots, and each dots represent one page. So what do? You take your finger and you slide from left to right, and then it's in parallel moving to the different pages. And the page in the middle is enlarged, as you can see here. And if you found the right page, you stop. Means you remove your finger, and then this page will pop up, and you see the functions behind it. That works very smoothly and very nice. And of course, we are used to this on our smartphones, but also on our tablets, whatever you have. And it's perfectly also existing here on this component. And very fast and smoothly, it's running here if you do this. Of course, if you have then one page with a function behind, the simple way is just to tap on a button to send a telegram on off, for example. If you have any slider, you can move up and down to change, for example, the dimming value or the position of the blinds. You see it here on the right. And as mentioned, sometimes you have to click here on the upper right side, and then you come to a more sophisticated view to the functions like here, blinds positioning or going directly up and down, or adjusting the angle of the slats. This is also then easily possible here. So I tried most of the function, and it works very smoothly and very user-friendly. So there are no complaints, I'm pretty sure. So, but okay, if I have my touch panel, how does it look like finally? Yeah, it was up to now a bit abstract with all these function elements and creation of pages in the ETS. I tried to give you here some screenshots, some information. First of all, we have so-called main pages or dashboards. I like the name dashboard. The dashboard page, maximum 2. Not adjustable via the KNX programming. So this is something which the user can adapt a bit, but partly existing already at the beginning. So what you see here on the top, you see already some icons with a real background picture. Means, depending on your programming, if you have light functions, you might have, of course, normally you have directly here access to all light functions, but not only individual circuits, but also to central functions. Yeah, so if you click on this, then it opens a further list, and you see all the lights behind. Independent of the rooms, everything in your project. The same for blinds, for room temperature control. So that's available. In addition, any events, we call it notification center, will be shown here if you click on this. For example, any alarming or anybody wanted to enter your home, was ringing the bell, but you was not at home. You can see it here as well. And in addition, also the weather forecast possible. Condition is internet connection and connection to your My Buildings portal account. And then you see, together with your latitude and longitude, which you enter in the parameterization, you get here quite nice, short weather information of your home. So on these other buttons here, these are so-called favorites. So control elements you have on other pages can be copied here on the dashboard to have it as fast and as easy possible as available. And this can be done by the end user. So each button you have later, you can add as a favorite, and then it will be placed here directly on the dashboard. Up to 2 dashboards are possible, and you can also rearrange or arrange the order of these buttons here. So everything done by the end user. Quite nice. And so the main functions you can place here directly on the dashboard. Yeah, if you have time functions programmed or existing at all in the project, in the product, you will see also here in addition, I've marked it here in red, the time function of today. Okay, nothing at the moment. Tomorrow is something happening, and as well on Thursday. So the next 2 days as well. Of course, you can change this then again if you want, but it's a good overview of the next time functions as well. So 3 levels, let's say, on top, in the middle, and here your favorites. All these things are possible. By the way, you have here a scene button, which looks not very nice because I forgot to place here a background picture. So for scenes, you can create your own background picture for this control element. This is also nice. The others are more or less fixed with all the information we need. And here you have might be individual pictures behind. Yeah, how to assess this dashboard? Okay, normally it's in the beginning always visible. So the first one you see here, two icons looking like a house a bit, representing the two dashboards. You can click directly here to jump to the next page, and the other ones are these home pages without any tree structure behind. You have just placed directly in the ETCA of the ETS. And remember, with your finger, you can move from left to right to go to the different pages, and then it's easy to find the right page. That's also possible. So, but of course, you might have also a real structure behind your rooms and floors. No problem. As mentioned, you can assess it here. So if you click here on top on the left, it opens this structure, this tree structure with all your rooms and floors you might have. Below the floor, of course, are more rooms. You click on one page, and then you have on the left, on the right, all the control elements. Very simple. And category, I mentioned already, is just for having access to the functions depending on the main function, lighting, shading, and so on. So what else in the user interface here? On the lower left side are three icons. One is the icon, gear icon, access to system settings. And this might be used sometimes by the end user. I use it very often. Okay, I played it with everything, but allows you to adapt something. Then if you would like to have a time function, you can do a time function directly at the control element. But going here on this button, then you select which function, and then you adjust the time function as well. It's also possible. And the last icon here, looking like a pen, just to arrange your favorite control elements on the dashboard, on which page and which order you would like to have the favorite controls, you can rearrange it here. This is also easily possible. So the end user has some access to adapt the view of this touch panel. Behind system setting, only very short. There are some features behind, but just to give you an overview what is possible here. So the end user can assess the display function, means adjust the brightness. I mentioned this already. You can use a proximity sensor. If you approach the touch panel, it lights up and immediately you can take action here. Things like this, white or dark theme, you see the color theme can be adjusted here. So these things are possible on different levels, not only for the display, but also for the sound. Network connection, just to connect to your local Wi-Fi network, is possible here. To adjust time and date, where the time shall come from. It can come from KNX, it can come from any time server. You can add to each page pin codes to access a page only via pin code if you want. Language settings, video surveillance, later a small view to this has to do with ABB Welcome and the cameras behind. Programmable buttons, these are the buttons on the Welcome side. You can adjust here as well. There are also things possible. Plus here, advanced settings has to do with downloading the application via SD card if you want. Reset functions, activating the programming mode for the individual address of KNX is also possible here. And this advanced setting is always available only via a code. Default is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but of course can be changed. And software update means firmware update can be done here as well. Plus an overview about different status information. But one is important, I would like to show you at the end, My Buildings portal. Remember, I mentioned we have to connect to the My Buildings portal, to the account, just to have the weather forecast visible. That's necessary. And how to do this? Very simple. If you click here on My Buildings portal, you just log in here on the touch panel with your username and password, of course. So you have to set up prior to this an account there. Easily possible. And then get also the status here under About. Okay, I'm logged in. Fine. This is the device ID here. And then if you go to a web browser and go via the web browser into your account of the My Buildings portal, then the SmartTouch, beside other devices, think about Welcome, think about control charts and KNX, and many more components will be visible here as well, as one of your components in your account. So with the ID number and the firmware version will be shown here. Okay, I can see it there. What else can I do here? We have two features here. What can you see then later? Any missing calls? via ABB Welcome, of course, can be shown here. Plus, if any notifications here existing from ABB Welcome, this can be sent then via email from this account to your email address as well. So we can enable this here directly. So 2 features you can use here. And as already mentioned, we need this My Buildings portal connection to see here the weather forecast. And this I like very much, so I'm a bit of weather freak. I would like to see always what is running, or how's the weather right now outside. And in a short way, you can see it here. Temperature, wind, and is it cloudy or sunny? Yeah, on the 1st of September, we had still summer here in Germany. Not anymore right now. Okay, good. So that's the small part together with the ABB My Buildings portal. Yeah, I think this was not everything, but a good overview of the functionality together with KNX. But as mentioned, we have not only KNX possible to connect, but also Free at Home, and of course also ABB Welcome. So here, some very short information only today. Not that much, but it's not that much. It's easy. Yeah, it's simple. So let's have a look. Free at Home connection, what does it mean? You need the twisted pair connection between system access point and this touch panel, of course, or to the Free at Home system itself. Yeah, this is necessary. So, and then if you have done this, it will be, of course, then detected, and you have to confirm only. And then you can program this device as a normal Free at Home device. In our case here, 1 page with up to 18 control elements are possible. Yeah? That's a functionality here directly. So like with a 4.3-inch touch panel, you do the same here for the ABB SmartTouch 10-inch. Remember, if you would like to have more functions, then it's possible to integrate in principle all the functions you have in your ABB Free at Home app, and then it will be mirrored here directly on this panel. So what does it mean? You need a Wi-Fi connection have to be established, because your app is running on any Wi-Fi component, and then it's also then automatically here on the SmartTouch available what you have done in the app of ABB Free at Home. So typically the first connection is done by the installer via twisted pair. The end user can, but also easily then connect via Wi-Fi and add the app functions, let's say. So just for your information, if you set up the SmartTouch at the beginning, it's not only for Free at Home, but also for KNX, you get this question at the beginning: select system. Think about the options you have: KNX, Free at Home, Welcome, or the combination of KNX with Welcome and Free at Home and Welcome. This you select here, and then the panel will appear if you have selected Free at Home, or here Free at Home plus Welcome, directly in the system access point automatically. If you connect, then the Wi-Fi connection is also here an option under System Settings inside the touch panel. Activate Wi-Fi, then you connect to the network where your system access point is connected, and then it's automatically also linked in this way, and all the functions from the app will be then shown on the SmartTouch. Very easy in principle. Okay, here's a kind of selection here of the system access point, and after confirmation, then the system access point is connected as well. So more it is not needed at the beginning to know. It's really not complicated. And if you have a look to ABB Welcome, even simpler as with ABB Free at Home. So what does it mean? First of all, twisted pair connection again. Remember these addressing I have to do, but first of all, up to 8 indoor stations means the SmartTouches can be used in one apartment. So you can have more than one if you want. You have this integrated IP gateway to access any IP cameras, as mentioned. So intercom functions are possible between apartments or within apartments, but only with Welcome M. Automatic unlock in case of a call. Unlock means opening the door. It could be possible. Integration of IP cameras is possible. And this direct control from the Welcome page of up to 5 KNX functions are possible. And to administrate this, you mainly do it, here again, this view to the rear of the component just to adjust these addresses. I think I mentioned this already, but the administration of the IP cameras and all the other functions I just mentioned, you do everything in the system settings of the touch panel itself. So you have here video surveillance, we have a programmable button you can adjust here. So there are functions related to the cameras. I can detect here the cameras and can do some arrangements here. So so it's really relatively simple here and can be done also later by the end user if needed. And remember, we have this welcome control element available here related to any camera, for example, and then you can also take action here on KNX directly, of course. All these things are possible. So, and programmable button here allows you to add on this welcome page additional buttons just for example, unlocking the door here, for example, yeah, or to take action with the integrated relay of the outdoor station. All these things are possible here. So it's a bit parameterization possible, but not a programming, let's say. Then allow me to come to the final slides. We are quite good in time today. Very simple, the commercial aspects, but also necessary to know. So first of all, it's our target, of course, to replace products, which is these SmartTouch 7 KNX and the same for Free at Home, the panel 7-inch. So this will be phased out end of the year, everything replaced by our new ABB SmartTouch. So if we have only one device left, which makes it much easier to handle and with all the functions we have seen already. So the ABB SmartTouch is launched. It's available, it's on stock, and you can buy it, and our colleagues can sell it, so it's really available. First of all, an overview of all the 8 components. So remember, we have white or black. So around the display can have it in white or black. And the frame, you see here the 4 colors: stainless, graphite, satin gold, and rose gold. This all is available here. And you can choose it with any of these colors around the display, resulting 8 components in total, 8 devices. Here are the order codes, so available, and the accessories right now means, yeah, the flush-mounted box and the wall-mounted box, and the wall-mounted box is available also in white, besides the black one. Good. More, of course, we have not only hardware, we have also software and some documentation. So on our homepage, abb.com/knx, you go to the products, then to visualization, display, and signaling, search for SmartTouch there directly, and then you get around this product everything, mainly the product manual, operating instructions, ETS application, plus the DCA, so both you need. You have to import also the ETS application, but there are no parameters behind, everything inside the device configuration app.